rest of the guys can drink in between pulls. They do not need to be doing anything else. So we've now got this up. We've buffed ourselves with our battle shout. We've noticed we've got a priest, so we've got a health buff. We need to get our agi and strength buff up. So we've thrown in our battle shout, generated some rage, and we've got that up there in the top left, as you can see. On top of that, we've thought about putting vigilance on the Ret Paladin. He's got the best burst, as you see. A lot of fun goes on between the guys in the endgame raids, slagging each other off. A lot of playful banter going on. Really is a lot of fun when you've got some guys who are so comfortable with their class, they just enjoy it. Let's have a quick look. Look at this. Heroic, heroic, heroic. 391 all the way through. This guy's one of the best geared people on our server, and he will complain to the ends of the earth until he gets his loot. What a loot whore, I can't tell you. We've got our Ret Paladin, also heroic geared. And our Hunter, again, 391 heroic geared. These guys are all from big 6 out of 7 guilds, really geared to the teeth. This, again, the scariest people you would ever find coming into your dungeon on your lobby. 345 geared tank. Doesn't matter, you can see it all the way through. We're not going to lose any aggro anywhere at all. And even if we do, we've got that taunt as the backup. We've got that saviour just there. This is the longest lift in the history of man. So look at us, we're first out of the block. We are like a greyhound. We are first out of there. We'll heroic leap, so we're there first. Waiting for the mobs to spawn. Our rage has run out, so you might be thinking, well, shit, I've got no rage. Okay, so you do the auto attack, get the taunt off, get a little bit of range, proc a revenge, and then we start cleaving away. They've gone and pulled more for me because they're being so helpful to me in this run. We've grabbed aggro on that quickly, done a shockwave, stunned everything, move on to the caster, get aggro on that, and start doing interrupts as well. Okay, gather them all up, get everything you can with your thunderclap, moving on to the next pack. Okay, really is as quick as this. This is how you need to play as a tank. You need to judge the situation. Are the other mobs going to die? Yes, then let's move on. You don't. If your mob is going to die and you've already got as much aggro as you need to do that, then move on. Because you can't get more threat than that. You need to be moving on. Once you've done enough threat to a mob that the mob will die before it possibly loses aggro on you, move on. That's your job is done. This is where we're going to try and use heroic throwing. As you'll see, it'll miss. So you see, trying to create this ball of mobs so the DPS can be happy. How do we fix that? Move over to the other caster, interrupt it, bring them back into a nice pile, and shockwave them down so the AoE can really get going, can really start cleaving the crap out of them. Creating this positioned ball where we can let our DPSs go absolutely mental, make them run much smoother. We've done enough threat that we need over there, so we'll move on to the next pack. That's exactly how you need to play as a tank, okay? Once your threat is maxed, move on, get out there, get to the next pack. Again, we're going to try the old heroic throw click. We're creating this ball of mobs. Once again, group them up as much as you can, and then lay down a shockwave once you're happy with how the positioning's gone. Throwing in your interrupts, and after that you're just spreading your threat around. You're revenging on cooldown. That's going to hit 2 targets. Your rage is topped. Let's get some cleaves going and keeping that shield slam going. Don't worry about devastating every single mob. Waste of time because they're going to die pretty quickly. So just keep you using your revenge, your shield slam, and your cleave, and in between that, throw in some devastates. Use shockwave on cooldown. Make sure you haven't left any mobs behind. And here I want to talk to you again about position. Just because there's a toxic cloud under you, then you would move, of course, but you also need to be watching where the melee. If a toxic cloud spawns on a melee, you got to realise he can't stand there. He might have to start DPSing from the front, and that's no good. So you need to watch for not only yourself, but other people around you as a tank, okay? You need to be dictating the control and the speed of the run. When we're going into a big boss pull like this, fire off a recklessness. Why not get some early crits in? It'll run out quick enough so it's not a danger to you dying. Throw in some early crits, that gives you that nice threat lead. Look at the boss, he's already down to 60% within a few seconds. Really good. And as you can see about that positioning, he spawns the whirlpool where the melee is, so you need to move the boss. Okay, just because it won't hit you doesn't mean you should ignore it. We're then looking at this very simply, trying to aggro ranged casters. This is where a heroic throw comes in. Why don't you throw a heroic throw over there, silence it, throw in a taunt as well, and that's going to nicely silence the mob and taunt it over to you while you're not creating any other situation. That's then brought 2 mobs together, and there you're creating an easier time for your DPS to cleave them down. This is what I'm talking about. No point in having aggro and 3 mobs spread out all over the room. Try and create this ball of mobs. This is what I'm telling you should be trying to do, is create a simple ball of mobs. Watch again, heroic throw and taunt. We've silenced it, it's coming over to us. You see that? We've then managed to do a sneaky charge straight. I mean, that was a baller move, wasn't it, guys? And now we're going to do like a pro and see the whirlpool and avoid it, while our 2 endgame raiders are going to get spinned up by the mob. Laugh at them to the end of the earth. These guys are supposed to be pros. One of these guys has a world 7th kill under his belt. I mock you. So what have we got here? Boss is down, kept him central through the whole thing, no unnecessary movement. We controlled the casters just using heroic throw and taunt, and that was all we needed to do there to make that a nice, smooth, easy kill. As you see, they're trying to life grip me. They're trying to troll me as much as possible in this run. We're having none of it. We're going to ball it up and we're going to throw out some intervenes. Do you see there how powerful intervene was just to keep us up with the mobs? It's like, this is what I'm saying. You need to get there first. Then what the best way to do if you've fallen behind and people have run off is to then intervene them and get yourself back in that first position. Cheat at the race. Recklessness was on cooldown, so this time we'll just use a retaliation. It's a nice extra effective cooldown that you can use while you're still tanking. Avoiding dark fissures, moving around, and this is again where I'm talking about position. That dark fissure is going to grow. We want to make sure our Ret Paladin can DPS happily. So what are we watching? We're just watching to make sure if he can't DPS, you can see the rage that goes on from these guys trying to outdo each other. It literally becomes a competition for DPS, and that doesn't help us as early tanks, does it, guys? It really doesn't. If the DPS are trying to compete with each other, then we're in a whole hell of trouble unless we're confident enough to take that challenge and really push it. What you'll find is some guys who are called, you might have a guy in your guild who's, you say, oh, he's a fantastic tank. You can only see a good tank in two situations. One with really heavy hitting DPS who are cleaving the crap out of everything. There is no such thing, guys, as marking mobs in any dungeon past the basics. If you're having to mark mobs, then you're doing it wrong. You should be aiming to hold aggro on absolutely everything. And you need to go in with, when we'll talk about the tank philosophy guide, is one, you're assuming that your DPS are idiots. I have told these guys, be mongoloids, destroy this place. Doesn't matter, we're still going to hold aggro on absolutely everything. Now see, these guys are trying, you can see he's asking me, are we doing anywhere near the threat? Just really none of it. We're there so much earlier to start with. We've got such a lead on our threat that it's not a problem. Chasing through really is just, this is the pace that should be set by a tank. If you can up to it, go for it. You judge your pace based on the gear. I know these guys are going to destroy it and push me to the end, so that means we're faster run for everybody. This heroic has taken us less than, say, 10 or so minutes. So fast. That's when you need your taunt. He managed to get a fatty crit on that, so we've gone in and just taunted it back and not a bit of the problem. That is when you need taunt, not before you pull. If we would have taunted early then, we wouldn't have just had no chance. Moving into the next mob, we've done enough threat on the first one. Get to your next mob really, really quickly and start doing the threat on there and moving around, okay? Really is as simple as that. And on these mobs particularly, if you've got a slower DPS and you're going to have a little bit of time, these mobs cast that big buff swell. And as we saw in one of our guides, is you can spell steal that and do so much extra damage. There's nobody in this group who can spell steal. There's 2 classes that can purge it, but that's not exactly true. 3 classes. Our shield slam dispels magic effects, and that is very important. So when we see swell coming, we want to be ready with a shield slam. So there's swell. Try and poke a shield slam. Doesn't matter, mob's dead, but if we had lasted another second and got our shield slam back, we could have removed that swell, stopping all the extra damage. Moving ahead even forth, mixing all our mobility, your heroic leap, your charge, and your intervene, all massively important to aiding your mobility and getting around. So we've got mobs spread out over here. We're going to charge over there, get aggro on them, and then we're going to intervene back. Look at intervene there, shining like a light. Intervene back. We've got a mob we can't get to. What we're going to do when he's casting, heroic throw him. Silence the mob, stop the incoming damage, and then get to him while he's silenced. Really easy stuff, using all our abilities at once. Really important that you're keybinding for your tank guys to play it proper. Really important to get this sort of speed, otherwise you've got no chance competing with these DPSers who will give you absolutely no quarter to help you out. Ads coming, get the Ren going, spread it out. Get over to our next mobs. What else have we got? We've got some shockwave, we can stun all them, stop anything going on. Really, really easy stuff. Getting back over to this guy, see the mobility? Not a bit of it. We are there every step of the way. We're interrupting and then we're tanking away. Doing all these things at once is what makes you a better tank, okay? What tools have you got in your arsenal to make you better? With DPSs who don't give a damn, are massively overgeared. You're talking DPSs here who are nearly 50 item levels higher than me. Near enough 40 to 50 item levels higher. No small feat by any means to tank against these guys, but you can see it can be quite easily done. And most importantly, that is done by being first. Being there first. Getting 2-3 seconds ahead of those on the threat is all it takes to get there. Really is. Charging to interrupt into the tank mob, dead easy. Give it a taunt if they're DPSing a little bit earlier, then that's where your taunts come in. If we would have pulled with taunt, by the time we got there, taunt would have wore off. We wouldn't have generated any threat in between and just lost aggro. Absolute waste of time. Taunt when you're in melee range and taunt after you've lost aggro, not before. Never do that. So on this boss, we've got to do some kiting. We'll stick our sunders down to help the DPS, grab aggro on our mob, and then we'll start kiting him around while the DPS do their job. Really simple stuff. Using, again, some intervenes just to move around, some charges to keep our mobility going. Nothing better for kiting than a prot warrior. We could even mix in piercing howl if we wanted to, or hamstring these mobs. Not needed today. We're just going to go around, DPS a few mobs, stick some sunders on, use shockwave to stun it, and then we see a new mob coming, charge over there, get some aggro, and then move back on. We've proc the boss, we'll kill these off to make life a little bit easier for our DPSs so they can just nuke the boss. Not that these DPSs would have any inkling to help kill those mobs. As you can see, they're off the popping wings. Marathi there is doing his balls to the wall DPS, and you see how quickly Ozomat is dying with these guys, okay? These are super serious DPSs. A lot of top 10 rankings amongst these guys. Really good stuff. So there you go, that's a whole heroic set pace, 10 minutes of heroic. And that's what you can do with heavy DPSs. Didn't lose aggro all along the way. If we did, it was an instant snap taunt. Nothing consistent. We had no damage taken by the rest of the guys. Really simple. Doesn't matter about your gear, guys. Threat is a piece of piss. Mobility is what it's all about. And the prot warrior, you can see I absolutely love this class. How much fun that was for me. Really, really was. Bit of banter amongst the guys. Just an enjoyable experience all around. No stress. No panic. Our healer is, desperate to do some more. Total damage, look at the numbers these guys have pulled out over the course of the whole run. Just those three. Really good times, guys. Go ahead and hit subscribe. I'll be doing the rest of the tank classes as well as every other class and spec in the game. Hit me up with any questions and I'll come back to you. I hope you had some fun as much as I do playing this guy. Really do. I'll see you later. Goodbye.